Elon Musk bringing his business playbook to Washington. Wall Street Journal business columnist and CNBC contributor Tim Higgins writing a new column on the topic this weekend. Tim joins us right now. And Tim, I don't know if you want to call this the classic Silicon Valley playbook, move fast and break things, or if you want to call this, begging forgiveness instead of asking permission. But what have we seen in the last just under 3 weeks?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Just like the Philadelphia Eagles have the tush-push, Elon has his classic move, which is to create the appearance of momentum. A win begets a win in his thinking, and he's talked about this in the past, that if the odds are in his favor for winning, he wants to make that decision rather than thinking about it, because not taking a decision, not making a decision is a decision unto itself. And so what he's been doing these last few weeks is what he's been doing at Tesla and SpaceX and Twitter turned X over the years, which is doing things, right? They might not work out. They might get him in trouble. They might have to be undone. But he's going to try, and that can kind of create some momentum. And momentum looks like he's accomplishing things, which is important in a Trump administration. The
tush-push always works, as it did yesterday in the Super Bowl. Managed to get
brotherly shove.
Get it over the line.
Brotherly shove.
Yeah, it worked. Does this tactic work in Washington? Because it's a different beast than the private sector, for sure.
Well, we're going to have to see here. You know, one of the things is that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are attacking or going after things that are important to a lot of people, and they're going to have enemies as they do it. The idea, apparently, is to try to get past that with their momentum, move on to the next thing, right? So we've seen them, Elon's Doge team, go after several agencies at this point, and it's almost kind of hard to keep track of where they're at this point if you're an opponent of them. The question I think you're really getting at is there's procedures for spending cuts. Congress wants to have a hand in all these things. The courts are clearly getting involved. So unlike his private businesses where Elon Musk could essentially do whatever he wants, there's some other bosses in the mix that might have something else to say.
Yeah, I saw Larry Lindsay. He was on with Kelly Evans in the last week or so. And Larry brought up this really good point that, he's going to be caught up with all kinds of court cases and depositions and getting dragged in for these things for a long time. I'm amazed that Elon would put himself in that position of going through some of these issues. This is definitely playing out in the courts to this point. I guess, where does it wind up? Just we wait and see what happens to the Supreme Court?
That seems to be the play. If you look at Twitter, for example, he did a lot of things when he first took over that, I think outside observers would say, oh, you can't do that, whether it was the way he fired people or the way he kind of cleaned house, cut off leases to various places, really kind of took a litigious kind of stance of kind of come after him, the world's richest man, if you want to get that money. It seems as if he's going to do that in government. And, in some ways, it seems like it's a play for the long term. It kicks the can down the road. But with government, at this level of government, things probably move a little bit quicker, as we've already seen, than they do with some people laid off at Twitter, which are still kind of, being decided through the various arbitration processes.
Hey, Tim, I have always been in awe of just the number of things that Elon Musk is capable of doing at one time, at least managing, given his many hats and roles that he has. President Trump made the comment just yesterday, I think, that, he was, he's impressed or, can't believe just how much time he's devoting to this. There are a number of folks on X, Elon Musk's other platform, of course, that are big Tesla bulls and followers who seem to have some anxiety just about how much time is being spent on his efforts in Washington. Do you think it's going to have an impact on the Tesla business?
Yeah, huge concerns, right? Because here they've kind of bought into that gamble of what the future of the car will look like, in large part because of Elon Musk selling that vision. The challenge here for Tesla is that most of their lineup is very old. Clearly, they're trying to update the Model Y with a kind of a refresh that we've seen. Refreshes can maybe help move the dial a little bit, but it's not new product. Elon has been making the bet that the future of the company is going to be on autonomous vehicles, driverless cars. And, that's a huge bet. And some investors would like to see him spending more time behind the wheel at Tesla because that is so complicated, because that's such a huge bet, because they have so much money on the line for that.